This is Nick Douglas for Adventures of a Sailor Girl at Quantum Key West Race Week. Now, we all know Martha around Key West.
Thanks. I've been around a long time.
A long time, but what I didn't know when I met you the other day is that you've done 26 out of the 30 Key West Race Weeks in its history. We're marking the 30th anniversary this year.
Right. Okay. So I was here in the very beginning, actually. Candy Langan from Yachting Magazine called me and said, Martha, come down to Yachting Magazine's office. I have an idea. So I came and I met her, and she goes, okay, you know how we do Block Island Race Week, every 2 years? I'm like, yeah. She goes, we want to do that in the winter in Key West. So when we first came down here, I was telling everybody that half of this town was not what it was. Actually, I'm going to put that differently. 70% of the town was not even developed yet. Every other house was boarded up, and we were over Truman Annex, and none of the condos were built yet. So it was unbelievable. And each year, we just developed it more and more. And I was really fortunate because I came down and Nike was a sponsor. So with my company, Team One Newport, they said, would you like to work with us? And we said, absolutely. And so, yeah, I've been here sort of since the beginning and seen it evolve into amazing things and been so fortunate to race on some amazing programs down here. But yeah, it's always wonderful to come back to Key West Race Week.
I was going to say, if you've come back that many times, you must just love it here.
Oh, absolutely. There's no better place to be in the wintertime when it's freezing cold in Newport, Rhode Island, and I can come right down here.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. But you're a sailor yourself. I mean, you're working with the race committee this week, and she's blogging. She's pulling flags. She's doing all of this stuff while she's still
as well.
still
doing a lot. But you know what I always say? I'm a bowman, so it's okay.
Exactly.
We can multitask. Give us a few more jobs, not too many, but I always, whenever I see somebody, I see Bryn Bachman always carrying the cart back and forth. I'm like, smallest kid on the boat, huh? She's like, yeah, gotcha. Yeah. I said, that's okay. That's what happens, and we love it.
Yeah, and I think you work harder just to prove yourself too. It's a good thing, sailing. It teaches us so many skills.
It certainly does, but it also teaches you just to get out and be who you are. And it's wonderful to see so many programs carry women on boards because back when we first started 30 years ago, there were not a lot. If you were in the PHRF class, but and there were no pro classes back then. You've got to remember, it was the very start of when pro sailing was starting. But we've been fortunate and I've been extremely fortunate to be able to do an amazing sailing venues as well as regattas and have opportunities to go all over the world. So I'm really, really fortunate.
Yeah, I think I've been fortunate as well. But I was sailing on Second Star today at J122, and the guys on board said to me, Nick, you're a girl, you're clearly sailing a lot. How do you get those opportunities? How do we get more girls in sailing? But then I meet you, and you're like me. It's great.
Just a few years older, maybe 2 generations.
Not very many.
But what's really interesting is, we've been discussing this, and I talked to a bunch of women who do want to go pro. And one of the things that I'm saying is it's really hard because we still are not quite equal with the guys. But the coolest thing about it is that if you're good, you can go out and you can do it. Just have to go, no chip on your shoulder. Just be there because you love being there. Be willing to do any job. But this goes whether you're a guy or a girl. Yeah. You need to be able to learn from every single boat that you're on. When I get on a boat, I still go and I still sit down and I still learn. I've done Olympic campaigns. I've won the Ultimate Yacht Race pro events, amateur events, world championships. But every single boat you go on, you can learn something new. You learn something to what a different maneuver is. When I first started doing bow, the guys were great. I was in the 50-foot class and I was in the 1-tonner class. And I had all these bowmen who were America's Cup bowmen. And I was not going to muscle anything through on a 1-tonner. And I was at the 1-ton Cup, which is their world championships in Hellerup. And I had Smitty, Alan Smith from Australia. I had Robbie Young, American bowman from the States, and another America's Cup bowman. And they were like, all right, Martha, let's look at this way. All right, let's think it this way. And it was perfect because everything I do has to be agility, not strength. I'm really strong, but I only weigh 110 pounds. Yeah. So it's useless and I have to know. But the other thing I've always told skippers and everyone on the boat, I am not going to put myself in danger. Yeah. I know sailing, I know the loads, I know everything enough to say, nope, I'm not going to try that. Or you know what? If I am going to try it, you guys, let's talk it through. Let's see exactly what I'm going to do because I will go up a mast, I'll go up a rig, it's not a problem. But this is what I'm going to do, and you guys are covering my back. And they're all with it. And the best thing is then you become a total team member. And that's the most important thing. And just one quick story. I remember the 50-footer World Cup Championships, and we were in Japan, and the media asked a question saying, okay, there's 13 boats here, there's only 4 women on 13 boats, and 2 of you happen to be in the top 3. And so they asked Paul Cayer the question, and Paul said, well, I inherited Jane from Coleus, so I'll send you over to Coleus. And Coleus's remark, and he had no idea I was standing in the back of the room, said, all right, let me tell you 2 things about all these women. First of all, they're world-class sailors. Second of all, they just happen to be women. Which is exactly what we need. Just nip it in the bud. You don't need to make a distinction. First off, we're sailors, and it just so happens that we're women. And it's great because I see what Sally's doing, and everybody with Magenta Project. Sharon Ferris was my skipper in the Olympics, so she and I go way, way back. But it's just, she's done amazing things with the guys, and so has everybody else that's out there, whether it's Ellen, whether it's Dee. And you know what? We are lucky because we had people like Sheila McCurdy come before me, who was doing, I think she's done something like 22 Bermuda races or something crazy like that, and she's the navigator. Yeah. And she's smart, but she doesn't make no bones about it. Yeah. No fuss. It's just she's part of the team.
Yeah, it's like Adrienne Cahalan. She's just done her 25th Hobart.
Absolutely. Exactly like Adrienne. And it's just, she's one of the crew. Yeah. She's one of the crew, and she's one of the guys. And it is actually a real compliment, I think, so that you can fit in, and you're there, and they're willing to help you, and you're always there to have their back.
That was my answer today, I think, when the guy said, how do we get more women in sport? And I said, I don't know. I'm just really lucky. I always loved it, and I never let that stop me. But
never let it stop you. But you know what? Make it your passion. Don't be there to prove a point. Be there because you love it.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. That's true.
Absolutely.
I don't think you're going anywhere.
No.
How many more Key West can we expect you to attend?
20.
20?
20 more.
Now, on that note, I've got to mention just quickly, it is your birthday today.
It is my birthday.
I'm not going to sing you happy birthday, but I'm going to say happy birthday. You must celebrate it in Key West all the time. Is that why it's your favourite place?
I have celebrated many, actually probably more birthdays here than almost anywhere else.
That's pretty amazing. Well, thank you so much for all the effort that you've put in here over the years, because as sailors we all know that doesn't happen without not only coming to race, because we need competitors, but then now, spending your time to volunteer as well. That's absolutely incredible.
Well, thank you. I love doing it. And as doing race committee, I love giving back. And I'm in the sport and I'm in the business and I love it.
Yeah. And we're never losing these hands because they're so valuable. Just 50 million things at once. You're amazing.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Thanks, guys. We'll be back soon.